Hey, what up, everybody? Steve Breach coming to you. Money in the Bank All-Stars was announced this Monday on Monday Night Raw by Stephanie McMahon, and she put together one hell of a match. Honestly, this probably might be one of the most stacked Money in the Bank ladder matches of all time. When this was first put together for WrestleMania, it seemed to be a lot of the mid-carders that didn't have a slot on the card. It was an easy way to use them all up and make sure everybody got on the card, emphasizing on the one guy that they wanted to push in the upcoming future. But this one, all the way from the left to the right, are all guys that I would put in this match and all think that would come out and really deliver. Kane, Randy Orton, Rob Van Dam, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Christian, and Sheamus. For some reason, when I look at this, I wanted to take Christian out and put Miz in there. But then, to my reveal, Randy Orton's never won a Money in the Bank, and neither has Sheamus. For some reason, I thought they had, but I don't know. Miz, I guess, is going to be in that mid-card role. We're not going to talk about the SmackDown Money in the Bank until SmackDown's on, because that's when you talk about it. Luke, talking to you, buddy. No spoilers over here. But, I don't know. This should be, honestly, a really good match. Kane, a guy that's been in a lot of these Money in the Bank ladder matches, will, at the end of the day, probably be the guy that they're always talking about, who, sort of like every time he comes in the Royal Rumble, they run down like 7,000 stats about the guy, because he's been in 7,000 Royal Rumbles, but yet he's never won one. I think he's the guy that will sort of have this record as well as being in there. They sort of like him being that guy that can always sort of make sure the guys get caught when they jump off the ladders, being in the right places at the right time. But they don't make the guy look like a goof either. He always gets to have that one big spot in the match where he gets to run around and cause havoc. I think everybody can remember Randy Orton at WrestleMania when he just gave RKOs to just everybody in the freaking match, just over and over. He pretty much RKO'd himself as well, just to put the exclamation point on how big of a moment that is. Rob Van Dam coming back from his return from TNA, and this is probably a really good way to bring him in and emphasize his strengths and hide his weaknesses. You know, in a Money in the Bank ladder match, you end up selling more than anything else throughout the match. You're just laying down to there's less guys in the ring, so you take one big money spot, and then you sort of just, you're out of the way from here on out. CM Punk is the guy that's in the forefront of this whole match. This will probably be the biggest match since his return, but since we're already pretty much booking the future with him versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, I'm not picking him to win this match. Christian, a guy that's came back, and I've already sort of slotted him in the jobber/geek role. I don't really know what he's doing in there, but I guess it's another way, just sort of like Rob Van Dam, to emphasize his strengths and hide his weaknesses. When you look over his career, he's really like one of the guys who's the king of the ladder matches. With him and Edge going through everybody with the whole rivalry with the Dudleys and the Hardys and everything back throughout the day. Sheamus, he's a guy who's had some awesome spots throughout the past. I can remember him killing Sin Cara with an awesome powerbomb through the ladder. Whatever year that was. It'd have to be like 2010, I guess. But, I don't know. He's the guy that I sort of thought had won one, and then once I went over the thing, he never did. So I'm not sure. But the man of the hour, yes, is Daniel Bryan. This is the guy who's going to win this. I believe right now the WWE is built around Daniel Bryan. They're making this guy look like, well, the whole thing that they say on TV is that they're trying to make him not look like the weak link. But I believe what they're actually trying to do is make him look like I don't want to call him the big giant or the little giant, but like, maybe the ultimate underdog, the guy that nobody really, it's not really that. It's a guy that I think believes that nobody believes in him when everybody does. This guy has long legions of fans since the day he's been there, and everybody loves this guy, but he sort of hasn't really been booked as a guy who is the world champion at WrestleMania 28, and a guy that cashed in on the Big Show and fought off the Big Show and Mark Henry repeatedly until Sheamus kicked him in the face, and then he lost the title in 28 seconds and wasn't able to reclaim it. He had good matches with CM Punk, and after that, somehow he just got sort of slotted into this feud with Kane that never ended. It involved him moving into a tag team, and I think they've always liked him to be a guy that could always work in those top matches, but they sort of slotted him into a role they couldn't get out of. And this summer is going to be the summer of him getting all the way to the top. I believe that it's like 50-50. If he wins this, he can cash it in and actually win it. I think that if he does cash it in with his character that he's running now, I don't think he'll be running in. I don't think they'll make him look like a goof either when he had the last Money in the Bank briefcase, when he was saying, I'm going to cash it in at WrestleMania, I'm going to cash it in at WrestleMania, and then keep giving him chances to cash it in. I think he's going to be a guy, much like Rob Van Dam, who just flat out says, I'm going to cash it in at this show, and this is when me and you are going to wrestle. I'm the best wrestler in the world, and I'm going to beat you. I think that's what he's going to do to John Cena. Some people have said it's going to happen at SummerSlam. Some people say it's going to happen at other shows. Regardless, I think that we're going to keep getting Daniel Bryan beating people. He finally beat his biggest foe in Randy Orton. He got the biggest win of his career. And I can see him moving in and wrestling John Cena. I don't think Mark Henry versus John Cena is going to go for the, 2 or 3 months. I think it's going to be a one-off. It's too bad that the Ryback match was a one-off as well. But I think that he honestly really deserved another rematch. But I would love to see Daniel Bryan move into it. I think that's what they're going to do with this. And we're going to have a ton of fun. Money in the Bank is probably going to be a huge show. Got big question marks about the whole Ryback versus Chris Jericho match. But that's another video for another day. Peace out, everybody. Have fun.